G'day gang, so we're at it again. We'll put the steam pipes on. We've got some new gaskets for there. Now, in our last video I turned the engine and was checking to see where the piston was, or the crank was, when I got to the valves rocking, if you remember correctly. Something didn't quite add up. When I say didn't quite add up, what I'm saying is that the actual position of the crank didn't look like it was corresponding with where it should be, and consequently I was second guessing myself. And that's why I think it's good when you're doing videos that you can go back, especially when you're doing them like I'm doing, where I'm not the LS guy, okay? I'm the old V8 Holden guy, the Iron Lion as some people have been calling it recently. But I checked on another video from a couple of weeks back and just double checked where we were on the crankshaft, and it was good. Look, I'll actually go back and I'll show you. I've got it 0 and 0. As you can see, maybe on there where the key is, there's a 0. That's the setting for him, and that brings that 0 there. There's your timing mark. And the dot, of course, we line the dot with the mark, and bam, as we saw before, when the piston was up, which it is now. This was at, where do we have this? We had this at 9 o'clock. So at the moment we are top dead centre number 6. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's reaffirmed to me that all is in the right place. I hope your week's been good. Things have been going the way you planned them, and yeah, stuff like that. I'm going to keep going on with a bit more of this. We'll come back. So that's what you can see in the video. You can see the 0 dot and the 0 dot. We're lined up dot to dot there. The 0, is it not a 0? A 0 at the key, a 0. We're happy days. And that was at that there. So I've taken my precautions, I believe. Now I've just got to find the cam card, and I'll just read that and make sure I got that right. Okay, so I've got new gaskets on here. We'll pop the manifold on it. And yeah, the list of bits and pieces is getting smaller. Yes, and so I'm all happy with that. And now I've got all the things that make this LS look like a horrible thing. That's why they put the big turtle shell over the top to cover all that stuff. But yeah, so I'm at a standstill at the minute. We've got new spark plugs in it, the new oil filter on it. Got some oil there somewhere. Not going to put. I've got to put the pulley on the bottom first before I go any further. I'll have to bring the tool home from work to install that. I mean, shit, look, I could have been the sketchy bugger, whacked it on there and pounded it on with a hammer, and said, you know, let's not worry about the thrusts in the crank and stuff like that. But you know, it is an older engine, and I really don't want to produce any issues. I'd rather, you know, stay away from the issues. And I don't think belting it on with a piece of wood and a hammer is going to really do too much for the thrust, as I said. So for the minute, I reckon we're just about diddlied. Once I get that bottom pulley on there, that'll be, you know, 6 bolts for water pump, a few hoses, throttle body, radiator and condenser. Easy peasy. And I think it'll be next week we'll have this thing making some noise. Yeah, we're all plugged in up here. So I actually heard what this cam sounds like. One of my buddies up in Queensland, he had some gentlemen install an LS into a HJ Holden, an orange one. You might know who I'm talking about. It's Dave from Overtaking Lane. If you go and check out Overtaking Lane, it's a channel that Dave and his son Tyler have got. You might just enjoy that. I think you will. They've got, I think, just on 2,000 subscribers, and they deserve much more. They do much better work than 2,000 subscribers. So if you could get over there, say good day to Dave and Tyler, and say good day, and tell them Zig sent you. So but next time we'll come back and we'll have this thing running. We'll have this running again. Get that pulley on. That's the only thing, the balancer. It's the only thing that's holding me back at the minute. I don't want to hammer the shit out of the crank. And yeah, so we'll just leave it at that for the minute. And yes, the cam sounds quite grumpy. It's going to be nice. It's going to be good. At any rate, till next week. Check you later. Have yourselves a good one. Cheers. Well, that was quick, wasn't it? Not much of a video. So I thought I'll add this in. The old 38. She I had her out on a drive a few weeks ago. I haven't driven it since. But whilst I was driving, I smelt a fuel smell. Quite strong too, and you could smell it, especially once you opened up the engine cover here. And so I haven't really investigated it, so I thought you might like to come along and we'll have a bit of a squiz. Looks like I might need to go and get my torch, so that it is still daylight, but it's quite dark because of the clouds. So we've got some clouds today. But anyway, I've got to get this cover off here, and that one, and this one, and the rail's right in there, and we'll see what we can see. Hang up. Gotta love the Bunnings backlight. Anyway, so you're not going to be able to watch me do this, but I've got to get my hand up under here, and there's a wing nut. I'm touching it now. Actually, no. Wait up. Maybe. I can't remember which hand. This was the one I used. The pretty one. That was Jen's idea, that last bit of the last video. So you can thank her for that. Come on, baby. Don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. There we go. One wing nut. Little one too, eh? Alright. I'll get my Allen key, we'll get these rail covers off. And get those, let's have a squeeze then, eh? We'll turn on the ignition or something and have a look and see if we can see something leaking out. It's not often I've got to do work on my own car. Repair work, I mean. Most of the time everything works pretty good and does what it's supposed to and it behaves well. But this engine is 30 years old. Okay, it's had a set of rings in it. It's still on the original cam followers and camshaft. Good thing about having running boards. But yes, it's had a set of rings in it and some gaskets, seals and so forth. But other than that, the manifold's all still 30 years old. The injectors haven't been out of the manifold. Well, not that I know of anyway, so so I'm expecting the rubber seals to be, or a rubber seal or a few rubber seals. Now I do have some injector seals, but if it's a rail seal, I'm talking about where it loops across the front here. If it's a rail seal, I don't think I've got that. Yeah. So by doing that, we've released the bunch of bananas manifold. Bunch of bananas manifold is what they call them, because they look like a bunch of bananas. That's what my air tube is hooked up to. There's the throttle body, our cables, and the cross tube. And if I look over there, it looks a bit sketchy, maybe. But I guess we're going to have to start her up, turn her on, or do something. See what we can see. Oh, don't forget that plate there. Watch out. Watch out for that, mate. Okay. I reckon that's lost. I can smell the fuel. I can smell it. I see it. Oh, she's coming out. It's raining here. There it is. Look. It's raining. 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 Lo Okay. There's the answer. I didn't think it was leaking that bad. And I actually did think it was an injector, but it's obviously not. It's that bloody tube there, hey? Look at it. Now I don't know if I've got one of those seals, but I guess I'm going to have to find out what it takes, and I think I'm probably best to replace both of them. Yep. I got the other one off. I almost forgot about you blokes. Yeah, 10mm little nut that holds onto a little bracket. Careful not to drop the bracket. The parts for these engines are becoming more and more scarce and becoming worth more and more money. Oh, she's running there. It's okay, we can live with that. Oh shit, it's a big one, eh? Oh, we're gonna have to remove the throttle bracket. For you that don't know what it is, it's a 304 Holden engine, and it's out of a Holden Commodore VN. There's a Turbo Hydro 700 gearbox, R4. There's a Commodore rear end in it with trailing arms. And all the wiring is from the donor, the brake booster, the steering column. The only thing that's not from the Commodore is the front end. The rotors are from a Commodore, and yeah, the rotors are from a Commodore, and the calipers are from a Commodore, but it's all flattened out. Oh, it's just, yeah, it's still starting to fall apart. Okay. Alright. Yeah, you can see it there. It's all starting to go. Okay, well there's the answer. And no, I don't have these these seals. So that's gonna leave the old girl parked up, isn't it, for a day or two? Do I go to the parts place and get the seals? Get this fella out of here. And I'm thinking he's probably going to be exactly the same. Seems to like to see it. There we go. Yeah, same. Okay. So now I'm this far. Do I pull the injectors out of it and change those rubbers? Do I pull the injectors out and get my friend to service them? Well, I mean, the thing's going fine, and if the injectors are not leaking, I ain't playing with it. So that's where we're going to leave it till I get my fuel rail seals, and then we'll put it all back together again. Have yourselves a good one. Cheers. Check you later.